every week Star Wars Andor delivers every single freaking week. Oh my God. Episode 10, we are kicking off the new block of 3 episodes, the final 3 episodes of season 2, which lead directly into Rogue One, which I have not seen for several years. Immediately following this, I'm going to be going back and watching the entire first 2 seasons again, um, but with my wife who's never seen it before, and then leading into Rogue One together. I'm going to save the Rogue One watch through until I do it with her, um, and it's going to be more impactful. Um, anyway, if you haven't watched these episodes, pause, go away, come back. I'm starting with this with 10. We're going to do 10, 11, and 12, just like we've done the past few weeks. It's going to be review. Give me an hour and a half. I'll have the next review up. Give me an hour and a half. I'll have the next review up. We're just going to go boom, boom, boom. Episodes 10, 11, and 12 here on YouTube. So if you haven't watched episode 10 yet, pause, go away, come back. I don't do spoiler free. This is all about essentially going back in time um, with Luthen. But before we get to that point, the episode starts off. We realize that Lonnie wants to meet, and there's this scene between Clea and Luthen where she's like, if you're not sure that this is gonna work, you need to walk away. If it's not perfect, we need to walk away. It's too close. Danger's on top of us, all this other stuff. And he's like, there's no such thing as perfect anymore. We just have to make it work. And so he goes to meet Lonnie, and I was just kind of blown away how this went down. Essentially, Lonnie, um, eh, he hacked into Daedra's personal files and found information about the Death Star, and he burned himself on the way out. So he's gonna get busted, and he needs to know because Luther made all these promises about helping him get out with his wife and kid, and Luthen's like, so we're negotiating now, and they have a conversation, and he eventually convinces Lonnie to tell him all the things he knows, but then he kills him to keep him quiet and leaves. And then he goes and meets up with Clea, and it's all about we have to burn everything down to the ground. We have got to get off Coruscant. We're burned. Um, Luthen goes back to the shop. Clea is going to go prepare their exit. Unfortunately for Luthen, when he gets to the shop, Daedra shows up. And oh my God, this confrontation, because it starts off, they're both, he's playing his role, and then she pulls out the Imperial tracking thing that she had from all the way from season one. And the game is up. Like, he knows that she's here for him. She tells him, I've got the place surrounded. There's no way out. And he plunges a knife into his stomach to try to commit suicide. She manages to, scream for help. Imperial units swarm the place, and she gets him into a med evac unit, sent to the hospital where she puts him all in control. And this is her big payday. This is the Axis. This is everything. Unfortunately, she did all of this without permission, and that's one of the big things is that I think Daedra is going to come to a really bad end. But the really interesting thing about where Daedra is as an individual now is she's completely fallen. She's all about just this is it because she lost Cyril and now she's all up. This is act. It's her. It's this is the thing that's possessed her from day one. She has to make this a reality. So she's doing whatever it takes to keep him alive so that she can justify everything that she's done. Unfortunately, her boss is like, yeah, she overstepped, and he sends her superior, whose name I can't remember, but it's the other guy, to arrest her. And this is also when they find out that Lonnie is dead and has been killed. And so everything is going down now, and I feel like they're going to be cleaning house because they do arrest Daedra and take her away. And she's like, well, we'll sort this out. And while all of this is going down, we start to get flashbacks from when Luthen met Clea. And this is essentially where we realize that he was part of a soldier unit that was massacring her hometown. and he decides to defect because he just can't take it anymore. He realizes what they're doing, and he finds this little girl aboard the ship, and that is a young Clea. And then he basically becomes this surrogate father figure for her while teaching her um, how to survive. And they take on these identities. Excuse me. I haven't had any sleep, kids. Um, and so we get a lot of flashbacks throughout this whole episode of essentially Luthen and Clea growing up together and waging resistance against the Empire while surviving. And at the back of all of this is the fact that Clea, as a badass spy that she is, sneaks into the hospital, blows up a bunch of the transport vessels um, to create a distraction, sneaks into the quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. Unit where Luthen is being held on life support, disables the life support so that he can't be taken alive because he can't be questioned. And then she kisses him on the forehead. And I'm just left sitting here going, ah, so emotionally invested in her character this episode because of being able to see her arc from a child and understanding more about her as a character now, but also emotionally invested in what's going on with Luthen because of finally realizing what it is that drove him to become the man he is today. And realizing that everything he did wasn't just about his own guilt for all the things he did as an Imperial soldier, but also this redemption arc that he was on with Clea to sort of find his way back to the light for all of the things he did when he was an Imperial officer. Um, and of course the other interesting thing about this is just like this whole sequence of she was already a tenacious youth when he found her, and she's helping him negotiate with these um, um, antique dealers and selling wares, um, and realizing that the two of them have a symbiotic relationship where it's more than just father and daughter. It's also like they need each other to survive. And I don't know. I think for me personally, it just made the bond between them two. It brought it real. It brought it to life for me this episode, where it was more than just the two of them working together as spy master and you know a journeyman spy. It was father and daughter, and that was something I didn't realize until this episode, and it brought it all home as she's like working her way up to the hospital, shooting stormtroopers, creating distractions and all this other stuff, wreaking havoc just to get to Luthen so that she can make sure that he doesn't, get interrogated, while also giving him this tearful kiss on the forehead as she leaves. And I was just like, I was emotionally gutted by the end of this episode. Um, I do feel like Daedra's going to get her just rewards. Remains to be seen. Obviously, she's been arrested, but I need to know how is Clay getting off the planet now? Like, I don't know yet. Like, there's so much that we don't know yet. But we do know that we're at the end, and this leads immediately into not next year, not a year from now. But this leads immediately into Rogue One, so we're there. Like, where's Cassian and Bix and everybody else? I don't know. I'm gonna find out because I'm gonna go watch episode 11 right now. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Make sure you watch the rest of the episodes if you haven't already covered my reviews of the show, and I watch a lot of other stuff. So check out all the other reviews, and I do the gaming streams every single morning on YouTube and Twitch at 5 a.m. Central. So we'll see you there. May the force be with you, everybody.